Space Marines are the living embodiments of the Emperor's will, serving as his divine enforcers on the battlefield. Descending from mighty warships, they act as angels of death, sweeping through the galaxy to eradicate threats to humanity. For more than 10,000 years, these superhuman soldiers have been humanity's steadfast shield and spear, confronting the darkest terrors that threaten its existence. Genetically enhanced beyond ordinary humans, they rank among the most formidable warriors ever known, stronger, faster, and far more resilient. Their unwavering loyalty and mental conditioning from a young age render them immune to fear, transforming them into fearless, relentless fighters whose resolve to secure victory is unbreakable. In the current era of unprecedented peril, the Imperium faces attacks both from within and outside its borders. The Space Marines stand firm, meeting these assaults head-on with steadfast faith and unwavering oaths. They are the protectors of mankind, champions who understand that fear holds no place among them. To a Marine, failure is simply not an option. As long as one stands, hope persists for the survival of the Imperium. Every Marine is a formidable warrior, more akin to a champion than an ordinary soldier, painstakingly augmented through a combination of grueling training, invasive surgeries, and intense indoctrination. This arcane and often brutal process is a testament to humanity's sacrifices, crafted through secretive and complex science that only a few possess. Thanks to the Emperor's mastery of genetics and alchemical arts, the first primarchs and their gene seed were created, laying the foundation for the entire Space Marine army. These arcane procedures and sophisticated bioengineering have allowed generations of super soldiers to serve in the endless wars that define their existence. Yet, despite their physical advantages, the relentless tide of war takes its toll, forcing each chapter to continuously recruit new members. The selection process varies widely, often shrouded in secrecy, as each chapter employs its own methods to identify suitable candidates. All aspirants are youths, since older individuals risk their bodies rejecting the implants derived from the gene seed material known as genoseed. Prospective Marines must endure arduous trials, whether crossing dangerous terrain with minimal supplies or surviving dangerous hunts with only basic tools, to prove their resilience. Many fail, falling in the field, their efforts ending in death, while others are captured and subjected to brutal procedures, sometimes lobotomized and turned into mindless servants. For those who survive and are deemed worthy, the path to becoming a Space Marine has only just begun, as they must endure further hardships, both physical and mental, in their journey toward becoming legendary warriors ready to defend mankind at all costs. Human beings in their natural state are unable to fully grasp the enormity of what the chosen undergo to become superhuman warriors. Preparation for this transformation demands years of intense mental, physical, and spiritual discipline. The process itself is extraordinarily brutal, involving rigorous training across various combat styles, mastery of the chapter's weaponry, and the operation of multiple vehicle types. This relentless regimen is paired with periods of hypnotic suggestion, extended meditation, and comprehensive psychological and spiritual testing. Newly initiated recruits also participate in gradual rites of passage that delve into the chapter's history, traditions, and rituals. Among the critical aspects of becoming a Space Marine is the implantation of advanced biotechnologies. These implants, known as gene and seed organs, are specially cultivated grafts that provide unique or enhanced abilities. Some organs, like the beater gland, enable a Space Marine to spit venom, while others, such as the sinew coils, significantly boost strength and resilience. The implantation process is meticulously ordered, though the precise reasons remain uncertain even to skilled apothecaries. Since Genon seed is a limited resource and organic material impossible to produce synthetically, its recovery is vital, especially when a brother falls in battle. The availability and quality of Genon seed vary among chapters, with the Ultramarines holding a distinguished reputation for their exemplary standards, largely due to their origins traced back to the founding chapter. The Imperial Fists, in contrast, face a deficiency. They lack genetic information to produce certain specialized organs in addition to the 19 standard implants most Space Marines receive during initial induction. The primar Space Marines, a newer generation of enhanced warriors, are further augmented with 3 additional organs that amplify their physical capabilities. These extraordinary enhancements were made possible through the use of a device called the Sang Primus, which utilized genetic material harvested from the Primarchs themselves. Thanks to this technology, engineers like Archmagos Belsarius Cowell have created formidable biological innovations. During the Ultima formation, countless Primarchs' genetic materials allowed the development of entire legions of Primar Space Marines, elite soldiers considerably stronger and tougher than their predecessors. Many chapters now employ these advanced biotechnologies to transform their recruits into Primar Space Marines. A significant breakthrough was achieved when surgeons developed procedures to implant primar organs into those who did not initially possess them. These operations, first notably performed by Chapter Master Marneus Calgar of the Ultramarines, are perilous and can last several days. Since witnessing the battlefield dominance of Primar Space Marines, over 1,000 independent chapters have embraced similar practices, transforming their ranks into elite forces capable of fighting the Emperor's wars with unparalleled ferocity. Throughout history, chapters of the Space Marines, each claiming noble lineage from the 9 loyal Primarchs, have risen and fallen over the ages. Their numbers have fluctuated. Some were annihilated in devastating battles with formidable foes, yet their crucial role in humanity's defense has led to multiple recreations. These founding efforts are so significant that only the High Lords of Terra possess the authority to approve them, and it is believed that only 27 such initiatives have ever taken place. The very first founding involved the creation of the original 20 legions by the Emperor himself, following the Horus Heresy. After this, the legions were subdivided into smaller, more adaptable units called chapters, each typically bearing the name of its parent legion. These chapters were designed as flexible forces, usually comprising around 1,000 warriors across 10 companies, with many being formed during the second founding. Unlike modern practices, there are no fixed intervals between these foundational events. They are launched by decree of the High Lords and the Emperor as circumstances demand. Additionally, there are no strict limits on how many chapters can be created. Sometimes decades pass with no new founding, only to be followed by several in quick succession within a few years. Historical records of these founding events are shockingly fragmentary. Some are stored deep within vast labyrinthine archives, their pages eventually succumbing to age and neglect. Others were deliberately destroyed, most notably during the infamous Reign of Blood, when Inquisitors and Adeptus Mechanicus records were burned in secret, leaving ominous gaps that suggest attempts at concealment or falsification. The significance of these missing pieces is highlighted by particularly notable or infamous founding events, which reveal how incomplete our understanding remains of imperial history. The 13th founding, for instance, is known as the Dark Founding. Records from this period are scarce, and even the Adeptus Terra lacks knowledge of many chapters created during this time, including details about the genetic material used. Some speculate that the exorcists originated then, but unresolved inquisitorial conflicts prevent definitive conclusions. The second founding, often called the Cursed Founding, aimed to improve gene seed quality, but instead resulted in numerous problems. Chapters such as the Black Dragon suffered from mutations or other complications, while others, like the Lamenters, endured relentless misfortune. The 23rd founding, known as the Sentinel Founding, was initiated to secure vulnerable regions of the galaxy. From this event trace the origins of the Iron Lords, Star Phantoms, and Marines Errant. The most recent was the Ultima Founding, which consisted entirely of Primarch-based chapters created at the height of the Horus Heresy, directly ordered by the Emperor himself during the chaos of the Horus Rebellion. Following his revival, the founding of this new chapter is considered one of the most significant in recent history. Among the earliest chapters that emerged in its wake are the Void Tridents, Rift Stalkers, Rift Cobras, Knights of the Chalice, and Umbrella Knights. Even if every Space Marine chapter operated at full strength, which is rarely the case due to losses sustained in countless battles, the total number of these warriors across the galaxy would likely not exceed 1 Marine per Imperial world. This means each chapter must carefully choose its battles, selecting where to fight and where to abstain. Some chapters are driven by a desire for personal honor or ancient vows, while others act strictly according to the directives of the Emperor's will or based on strategic pragmatism. Regardless of their motives, when a Space Marine chapter engages an enemy, it does so with devastating force, crushing opposition beneath their ceramite boots. Most chapter planets serve as the hub for training, recruitment, and rearming, a sovereign domain under the chapter's complete authority. The chapter master, or lord of all, rules these worlds, and only the Emperor holds greater significance in their devotion. The origins of a chapter's control over its home world vary as widely as the chapters themselves. Many of the first founding chapters inherit worlds that were once Primarch domains, while for later generations some chapters now govern worlds seized during the Great Crusade. Others liberated planets from tyrants or hostile forces, or received them as rewards for heroic deeds. Many chapters, however, have unknown origins, lost to history through destruction, concealment, or neglect. All what remains is a fortress monastery on their home world, which they fiercely defend as their sanctuary and bastion. The populations of many chapter worlds are tenacious and hardy, enduring harsh, often life-threatening conditions daily. Life on these worlds is a relentless test of survival, and the Space Marines seek aspirants who embody resilience, endurance, and strength, traits essential for overcoming such extreme environments. Whether due to high casualty rates, genetic depletion, or deliberate recruitment from such rugged worlds, many chapters draw from these tough populations. Some chapters recruit from multiple worlds, demanding aspirants from planets they've saved from invasion or from neighboring worlds with which they maintain enduring alliances. Though some consider this a dilution of the recruitment pool, many chapters indoctrinate their non-native recruits heavily, so they quickly become culturally aligned and share the same outlook as native-born aspirants. For numerous chapters, their culture remains deeply linked to their home planet. The Salamanders chapter, for example, embodies the way of the smith and the forge, reflecting their people's mastery of metalworking and craftsmanship, which they carry into their warrior ethos. Their identity and traditions are rooted in the environment and history of their worlds, shaping their approach to war, survival, and loyalty to the Emperor. On their home worlds, the Space Wolves often display their fierce traditions, where warriors display trophies from hunts, much like tribal chieftains and legendary heroes of myth. These chapters typically wield influence that extends beyond their own planets, sometimes reaching entire star systems. In the current dark times, many regions of space have come under direct control of the Adeptus Astartes to maintain order and stability within the Imperium, especially amidst rising threats. Several worlds, whether fully or partially, delegate authority to nearby marine chapters or trade resources for protection, seeking security against ongoing conflicts. A significant number of these planets have become overwhelmed by refugees fleeing the chaos of war. While chapters like the Ultramarines possess the resources to shelter and integrate these displaced populations, others, especially those on less hospitable worlds, struggle to provide aid. In such cases, many refugees are forced to serve the chapters directly in exchange for sanctuary, or are left to fend for themselves on deadly terrains where survival is uncertain. Some marine chapters are entirely without homeworlds. These nomadic groups traverse the stars aboard fleets of battle barges, strike cruisers, and escort vessels capable of devastating entire sectors. These fleet-based chapters operate similarly to mobile fortresses, where their vessels serve as living monasteries, housing armories, libraries, medical facilities, barracks, and training grounds. To mitigate the risk of losing irreplaceable assets, some chapters concentrate vital functions on a single flagship, while others distribute them across multiple ships. There are various reasons why a chapter might be fleet-bound. For instance, chapters like the Dark Angels have lost their original worlds in devastating conflicts, while others, such as the Black Templars, have never had a home planet and have been relentlessly hunting enemies since their inception. During the Old Night, some chapters temporarily forfeited their worlds. The Mantis Warriors, for example, fought alongside traitors during the Badab War and lost their safe havens. Recruitment methods differ between chapters and are often dictated by circumstance. The Imperial Fists, for example, maintain specific recruitment worlds, returning periodically to gather new aspirants, whereas others recruit wherever they find potential, with little concern for formal procedures. Only the most vigorous protests or challenges from rival chapters might cause hesitation or reevaluation during these processes. The organizational structure of many spaces, Marine chapters, is based on the legendary Codex Astartes, a comprehensive battle manual authored by the Ultramarines Primarch Rogel Dorn approximately 10,000 years ago. This codex provides the blueprint for chapter formation, strategy, and discipline, shaping the Marine forces into highly organized and efficient warbands capable of confronting the many dangers threatening the galaxy. During the darkest times of the Imperium's history, this revered tome is regarded as a sacred text, treasured by many chapters for its age, insight, and authorship. The heresy led by Horus ravaged the Imperium, inflicting such profound damage that the realm of the Emperor never quite healed. It was through this crisis that the true might and vulnerability of the Space Marines emerged, revealing their fallibility in shocking detail. Robert Guilliman understood that the immense power wielded by the Primarchs and their legions was dangerously concentrated in too few hands. To mitigate this risk, he authored the Codex Astartes, embedding within it his extensive military expertise. Every aspect of Space Marine warfare, strategy, tactics, organization, was scrutinized and meticulously documented. The Codex detailed command protocols, squad compositions, uniform markings, and even nuances of combat gear and technical equipment stored in the Legion's vast armories. Perhaps the most pivotal directive in the Codex was the mandate to subdivide the original legions, which numbered in the tens or hundreds of thousands, into smaller autonomous units called chapters. Each chapter was to operate independently, with full control over its strategies, heraldry, and colors. This fragmentation aimed to prevent another devastating betrayal akin to Horus's rebellion, which had nearly shattered the Imperium. Not all Primarchs welcomed this reform. Rogel Dorn and Vulcan argued strongly against dividing the legions, preferring the original organization. Nevertheless, the remaining loyal Primarchs accepted Guilliman's vision, leading to the dissolution of the Great Legions, which had previously conquered the galaxy in the Emperor's name. Over time, most chapters have strived to adhere to the Codex's principles, though strict compliance has varied, and some have adapted their doctrines and structures. For instance, the Space Wolves openly reject significant parts of the Codex, favoring their ancient traditions, yet continue to regard it as a vital source of knowledge and wisdom. Leading a Space Marine chapter is akin to commanding a highly advanced and formidable combat force. The harsh realities of war demand that each chapter maintains peak efficiency, confronting relentless enemies and attrition. Success hinges on exceptional leadership, commanders who excel in warfare and logistics, and who can inspire mastery in combat arts. Throughout history, chapter masters have stood as the epitome of excellence and leadership among the warriors of the Imperium. For centuries, they have decisively defeated enemies and earned numerous distinctions, their standards proudly bearing symbols of countless campaigns. These individuals are some of humanity's most revered heroes, capable of assessing entire battlefields at a glance, swiftly recognizing threats and opportunities alike. The arrival of a chapter master on a turbulent world can transform a likely catastrophe into an inspiring triumph. Few within the Imperium possess as much personal authority when at full strength as a chapter master. Their chapter and fleet can devastate entire star systems, with the homeworld often regarded as their domain, whether willingly or not. Many worlds and systems pledge loyalty to a chapter, which answers primarily to its own judgment rather than external commands. Requests for aid are made, but the decision to respond lies solely with the chapter master, granting him profound control over the lives of countless individuals and entire regions. Even amid complex wars with multiple troops fighting simultaneously, it is solely on the chapter master's discretion that allies follow the lead of another chapter. These leaders access some of the Imperium's most prized armaments, ancient relics such as millennia-old armor and weaponry, which symbolize immense honor and tradition belonging to their chapter. Only chapter masters are permitted to wield these relics during combat, underscoring their unique status. While most chapters are governed by a singular figure known as the chapter master, sometimes called by other titles, not all operate identically. For example, the Sons of Medusa are led by a triumvirate of stalwart leaders. Conversely, the Iron Hands chapter is ultimately governed by the Iron Council, with a chapter master like Cardan Stonos serving only as long as the council deems him suited to lead. In the Raven Guard, a visible chapter master exists in the figures of Cave and Shrike, but the shadow captains of their individual companies enjoy significant autonomy in choosing campaigns and strategies, more so than many other chapters. The role of the chapter master is often supported by various officers whose responsibilities extend beyond standard military command. These positions vary from chapter to chapter and include titles such as the Lord of the Household, Secretarias, Securitas Primus, and many others. Near the top of the hierarchy is typically an honor guard, an elite cadre of warriors who answer exclusively to the chapter master. These guard members serve multiple roles, protecting their leader's safety during negotiations or combat, advising based on their extensive experience, and offering strategic counsel. Their duty is not only to defend, but also to challenge decisions when necessary, ensuring the chapter retains wise and balanced leadership. To prevent the corrosive effects of arrogance and complacency from taking hold, an honor guard often includes a figure called a champion, an exceptional warrior who embodies the core ideals of his chapter. These guards typically bear the responsibility of safeguarding their chapter's banners and standards, a duty regarded as sacred due to its gravity and importance. The way an honor guard is assembled varies among chapters. For some, it is a standing institution whose membership only changes when members fall in battle or voluntarily step down. Such voluntary resignation is rare but can occur if a company suffers severe losses, leaving insufficient experienced warriors. In these cases, some honor guards choose to transition into roles like the chaplaincy or serve as officers within the scout company, passing on their experience to the next generation. These honor guards serve as a vital link between the chapter's past and present leaders, ensuring seamless continuity of command. In other chapters, the chapter master personally selects his honor guard. These chosen warriors might be battle-hardened veterans who fought alongside him repeatedly, or wise mentors whose knowledge greatly benefits the chapter. Some chapters combine both types, selecting members based on their combat accomplishments and leadership qualities. Typically drawn from the first company, the honor guard enjoys privileged access to the chapter's armory. They often carry rare relic weapons and wear ornate armor, each artifact imbued with history and significance. These relics have been born into countless battles by legendary chapter heroes. Choosing their weapons and armor carefully, honor guard warriors are well equipped to confront formidable enemies. Across most chapters, many space marines adorn their armor with heraldic symbols, laurels, trophies, and iconography representing their lineage, achievements, and battles fought. Honors are often given to fallen comrades or used to commemorate chapter champions and leaders who inspired their brethren in war. Such traditions vary widely, not only among chapters and companies, but also among individual warriors. Some use identical symbols, but with personal variations, and many chapters incorporate customs inherited from their home worlds. The banners carried by Space Marines are prime examples of craftsmanship, often crafted by master artisans or even by the Marines themselves. These banners are consecrated through solemn rituals and serve as symbols commemorating legendary battles, honoring heroic deeds, or representing specific branchings within the chapter, such as the apothecarium or armory. Richly decorated, each emblem, title, and embellishment holds profound significance, encapsulating the chapter's history and identity.